The lesson that we witnessed last week in your classroom, how did you come to planning that lesson?
One thing I like to do in my classes is have a lot of transitions and a number of different activities. I've actually read a few articles that talk about where students' minds are wired a little bit differently because of all the technology use they have. There's so many distractions. So I actually like to implement that in my class and have, 15-minute activity, switch to a different activity while it still stays within the parameters of the content that we're dealing with. So I kind of geared it towards that.
And how did your thinking about the lesson relate to the work you've been focused on with personalized learning?
One thing I like to do is I definitely don't like to spoon feed the kids and just give them the information. I want them to actually have to do the work, do the research, and actually make choices for themselves and be able to collaborate with one another in their discussion and really, I guess, analyze and evaluate, is this a good document? Is this not a good document? Does it fit this? Can we find something else? Really allowing them, the opportunity to be able to research on their own and just kind of come to their own understanding rather than me giving that to them per se.
When we were in your classroom, what types of examples of the personalized learning experiences did you see?
So in the beginning, I had the students research the different strengths and weaknesses of the different civilizations we were doing, and in doing so, I don't like to put a lot of constraints on, you have to go to this one website. More so, they have the freedom to look at a website and then they have to determine whether it's a reliable one or not. So it gives them opportunities to kind of find their own answers as they go through. Then they're also able to work together and collaborate on creating their thesis statement, and really kind of based off the research they did, talk with their group member or partner to figure out how to kind of formulate that thesis into answering the prompt. And then the last portion would be where they then have to go research the documents that would fit within their own thesis statement. So it's a lot of freedom in what they do to kind of, again, come to their own understanding.
How do you think that this type of teaching and learning experience in the classroom helps students rather than the traditional sitting and reading or listening to lecture?
Well, again, it's them taking their ownership of their own learning rather than the teacher just simply giving them their answers. They're the ones that's really working with the material. They're the ones that have to make decisions. They're the ones that have to discuss and get ideas from their partners and be able to deliver their own ideas and get those across so that somebody can understand. Again, rather than just read this, it's something I specifically give them, answer these questions. It's really them being more so involved in their own learning.
Perfect.